So I just graduated from high school, not from college. I'm not quite there yet. Now what? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ace, and this is my channel. This is my first talking video, so I might end up doing more of these because I have a lot to say and I don't really know how to say it. So I just graduated from high school, and I don't think there was anything that could really prepare me for how I feel now. I think going into high school, I was excited because I wanted to work on myself as a person. I wanted to be better, and I wanted to be more confident in myself and my ability. And I was a very insecure person going into high school. I was going through depression and suicidal thoughts at the time, and I wanted to dig myself out of that hole. Obviously, if you're having these problems, talk to somebody, because there are always people who are going to support you, and whether it be family, friends, or counselors, teachers, there's going to be at least one person who can help you and will help you. So I'm just putting that out there. Going into high school, I didn't know what I would do or how I would be. I went immediately into an art program because leaving from middle school, I didn't want to do choir anymore. I had lost my voice so many times, and as much as I like singing, that wasn't something I really saw myself doing. The only thing I was really passionate about was art. So a friend of mine told me that, there was an art school or an art program, and that I could go in there for high school. So obviously, as I took that opportunity as soon as I saw it, I didn't really expect what I got from the art program, though. And that's not a bad thing. I think that it taught me a lot about myself, and it taught me a lot for how I should kind of behave in the future. One of the big things going into high school was that I was a very impatient person. And I think a lot of people have this problem and don't really realize it, is we're always working for something else, and if we don't really see the result within a certain period of time, it's very easy to want to give up. And I think that's something that I kind of had to force myself not to do. I wanted to be a good artist, but I didn't really understand a lot about my art. I had ideas, and I didn't really know what to do with those ideas, so I was just creating to create. And don't get me wrong, that's an amazing thing to do. Sometimes, you just have to create to get an idea out. But I was always comparing myself. I was always wondering, why aren't I as good as my classmate? Why aren't I as good as the artists that I see online? Why can't I be as good as them? What am I doing wrong? And the truth is, I wasn't really doing anything wrong. I was just learning. I think a big part of ourselves with not achieving results immediately is we don't give ourselves enough credit for that learning period. You can't go from point A to point B without a journey in the center, pretty much. When I was learning, I had to learn a lot of patience, and I mean a lot of patience. I was constantly giving up, and I always started projects. I still have this problem. I always started projects, and I would never finish it because it's not what I wanted. It didn't give the result I wanted, but at the same time, you have to start from somewhere. I think that being in an arts program taught me to be very patient with myself and to be kind to myself in this sort of way, because I had to start from somewhere, and it's important to have growth, because then you understand what you were doing wrong and where you can improve and how you can improve. And it's important to have people who also encourage your ideas as well, let me say, because there's a big difference between constructive criticism and just insulting a person. And I've had teachers who, at the same time, are very opinionated. And that's something that you kind of also have to be prepared for, is as neutral as somebody is, they always will have an opinion, and sometimes that can flood in. Obviously, if you have a really good teacher, they can kind of stay neutral, but, you know, that's just something that I've kind of noticed a little bit. I think it's not bad to have an opinion, and that's what makes humans so interesting, is that we have so many opinions, and everybody's opinion is so unique. And it can feel a little bit weird at times, you know, and I think there's a big part of us as human beings that if you don't hear something the way that you want to hear it, that you're not going to be satisfied. And that is fine to not be satisfied sometimes, but you have to be aware that not everything can be handed to you on a silver platter. I think by being in an art program, I improved my art a lot, and I improved myself as a person, because I realize this now, and I realize how much hard work goes into all these different things now. Like, obviously I knew that doing art was difficult, because I had been doing it for a long time and I wasn't satisfied with myself, but I didn't realize that certain projects can take up to years to complete. I have been working on a story, and all my stories, for years now, and at times it doesn't feel like I'm seeing the result, because I'm just building something. I'm building something for later. And I think now I've gotten to a point where I'm creating things for these results, and I'm creating because I want to create. I have my ideas, and I want them really shared with the world, and, you know, nobody else is going to have my ideas, so I kind of have to make them, or else it's going to be lost when I die, sort of situation. That's what I've come to think, and I don't really want that. I think that some of my stuff might resonate with different people, and how else am I going to know that unless I put it out there? I think that I was sad by leaving high school, but at the same time, I'm deeply satisfied with myself. I am kind of ready for what's coming next. Not fully, obviously. I'm still preparing a lot for that. I'm still coping with the fact that I actually just graduated. Like, it's an extremely weird feeling. But I'm excited. I know that, you know, even if my teachers aren't going to really be here for the rest of the process, they still do have ways to contact me. And I also know that when it comes to friends, the people who do care about me will reach out to me. And the people who don't, why am I wasting my time and effort on something, or on people that aren't really going to care back? And obviously this isn't me telling you to cut off all your friends or cut off everybody. No, that's not what this is. It's kind of just a realization that I can count the actual people I can depend on for, like, everything, like my ride or die people, on one hand, really. I have 2 good friends, I have my parents, and I have my grandmother. And those are, like, kind of the 5 people that, at the end of the day, are always going to be there for me. and that I am working really hard to kind of maintain those connections for. And, you know, the list goes on and on and on and on eventually, but those are kind of my main people. I do have other friends, I will say, but it's just, like, if I am about to do something crazy, or if I just need somebody to talk to randomly, those are kind of the people that are going to listen just because. You know, it's not that they need something or want something, they will just be there just to be there. I think I am sad at the fact that, you know, not everybody is going to be immediately there when I look for them anymore. But I'm also excited because I'm getting to start something new, and I'm getting to do something that I want to do. In high school, I was not really that motivated, especially in my senior year, for anything besides art. Like, I love doing art, and eventually I was kind of to the point of, why should I have to do all these classes if they're not going to benefit me? Because why am I doing PE and then you want me to do Lifetime Sports? What is Lifetime Sports? Please, somebody in the comments tell me, because why is that a class? It's like a fake PE class. That's off topic. Anyways, I wasn't that motivated for anything besides my art classes, and now I'm kind of doing something, and I'm paying for my education because it's an education that I want. I want to learn more about game design, and I want to learn more about animating, because those are two big things I feel really impacted me growing up. I would always watch shows like Adventure Time or Sailor Moon or My Little Pony, because they always had a deeply moving message, and the visuals were beautiful to me, and it's not really real life, but at the same time, you can find a connection to real life in it. It allowed for complete and absolute creative freedom. Meanwhile, with games, even if it has a linear storyline or not, so take Omori, for example. It looks like a fun, cutesy game for a while, but it has a lot of deep messages in it that, honestly, you can't really find in too many different games. It's a completely unique story because everybody has a unique story in their head that they can just put out there eventually if they have and work for the skills to develop it. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do now. I love video games and I love animation, and I think they're extremely unique ways to tell a story. And I think obviously there are more different ways, because I've tried making comics, I've done photography, I've tried to make short films in the past. It's not on this channel, but they are existing. We don't talk about them because I was learning, you know, and there are so many different ways that if you just experiment and you just create to create, you'll find something to tell the story that you want to tell. And I'm excited because I'm going to be able to learn these skills at long last. I started animating my junior year, seriously animating my junior year. I did dabble in animation during middle school, but we don't talk about those either. And that's fine. I think that's fine. I've come a long way, and I think that there's a lot more room to go further. And I'm excited for what is going to come next. So what is going to come next for me? I'm going to an art college to learn game design and animation. So I hope to create multiple video games. I have one big project that I am working on that I'm not going to fully spoil because it has a lot regarding it. But if you've seen my character Fern, the one with the 2 braids, she is a big part of that project, and a lot of my stuff revolves deeply around dreams in the subconscious and kind of escapism, and I'm excited for where that's gonna go. And let me see, I have my main project I'm working on. I want to make kind of an ARG series for all my characters to tell all of their different stories, because there's only so much you can put into one project. I want to create a visual novel game because I want to for one specific character, and I think it's really funny. And I want to create so much more. I'm excited for what's going to come next. And I think that anybody watching this video should kind of be excited for what's going to come next for them after they graduate high school. Again, I don't think there's enough videos out there, and I don't think there's really enough people talking about that weird feeling of being just graduated from high school. It's extremely unique, I feel, because you're excited for what's coming next, or maybe you're not, I don't know. Everybody's different. But for me, I'm excited. I'm not sad. I'm satisfied even if I'm a little bit lost, and, you know, it's okay to feel a little bit lost, I think. Anyways, my main message of this is kind of to be happy with where you're going, and that it's okay not to really know where you're going, even if it's to high school or to a job, but at the same time, you can do so much if you put your mind to it. And that's kind of what I want to leave you with, is that if you put your mind to it, you can do things, and you can do amazing things. And I am so excited for anybody who graduated 2026, or anybody who is just even about to start something, because this is your life and you are living it now, you know? When we actually start living our lives and being present in the moment, so much can happen and so many wonderful things can happen. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you are inspired to just do something, and I hope that my perspective just can resonate with somebody, or was even just something that you turned on in the background just because you were curious. Thank you for watching.